Tip C here, and we're back with another Survival Saturday. But this one we're actually starting Friday night. Why? Because it's going to be my first overnight. So I got a few items to review as far as my Survival Saturday. One of them being a Therm-a-rest Pad. I actually seen this on Corporals Corner's his channel. He reviewed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I wanted to check it out myself. So I got the Therm-a-rest Pad. Then I'm going to set up a camp. I came out here kind of late. It's actually about 6:30 p.m. So I only have enough daylight to probably, make a temporary shelter, but I do want to make a bigger shelter out here to, have fun in and try my survival items now that I have access to it. The second item is a Paracord bracelet from Atomic Bear. So I want to check this out. It looked like a fair deal, good fair price, a lot of good tools. I want to check this out. And then final item I'll be reviewing is a ESEE-6 knife. So I've heard this is extremely versatile. I heard it's like one of the best survival knives. I had to get one and check it out and see what it's all about. So I'm excited to get in there and see some things I can do, like batoning wood. And then as you can see, I picked this clearing for right now is I got a lot of birch. So I can process some of the bark for some fire starter. But I'm gonna go ahead and start building the camp. Probably clear this out. I'm probably gonna run one tree to tie it off here and make a temporary shelter for the night. It's supposed to rain, and it's actually pretty heavy coyote activity, so it might get interesting tonight for sure, but we'll find out. So let's go ahead and get started building this camp. We got update number 1. I got all this cleared out, and I'll probably be cutting a tree down or finding a nice piece of deadfall to lay against the big tree right here to the left. And we'll tie it off and start putting branches across it. I am using the LIANTRAL tactical shovel axe. I continue to use all the gear that I review, and I'll give you guys feedback if it does break down, but everything's been holding up good so far. So I chopped the tree down with the shovel axe. I got it laying out, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to just tie it to the right hand tree and the left hand tree to kind of make just a stand, and then put a tarp underneath it and put the branches across. I think I might do that. I'll get a little bit more room out of it instead of just laying it against that tree. Tree now affixed to both left and right tree to create basically a top, and we're going to wrap the tarp after clearing a little bit on the bottom and make a half shelter. And then I'll probably put some sticks and twigs across that, and in the middle we'll create a fire pit, and if we have enough time we'll create a fire deflector or fire wall for the heat. I heard it's supposed to be pretty cold. Even though it's really hot right now, it's supposed to get to about 60 degrees tonight. So we'll just keep on working. All right, so we got our temporary shelter made up. True disclaimer, I'm no professional, but I'm a hands-on learner. So that's why I'm out here doing this. I figure if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of out here trying stuff out and being ready for when the time it comes, you may need it. So I affixed the tree with the 550 paracord to both sides, and then I affixed the tarp with the 550 paracord temporarily just to get a good fitting to see how it works out. And then I'm going to fill it with brush in the back for a little bit more cover, and probably fill the sides in with brush. But we're losing daylight quick, so I'm trying to get this done so it's ready, because I still got to do a fire pit and get that ready for the night. All right, so this is the Therm-a-rest Pad I was talking about. It's a RidgeRest Classic closed cell foam sleeping pad. It's a large size. It weighs 1 pound 3 ounces, which is very light, and it looks like it's good for summer, spring, and fall, but not really winter as far as the rating. But I do want to test it, so I do have it set up on the tarp, and that's how I got basically ran out of time. So I put the brush on the sides, both front and back, to kind of cover it up, and then I'll just use a sleeping bag and sleep in there. And then I have the fire set up right here. Just been working on getting a little spot set up while I was processing some of the brush. Now we got the Therm-a-rest Pad and our temp shelter done. It's time to talk about the ESEE-6. So overall it's about 11 3/4 long. The blade itself is about 6 1/2. It does have micarta linen, I believe, removable things, which the handle for me is fantastic, and it weighs about 12 ounces, so it's got some health to it. Now, for most cases, I'm getting from a lot of people that enjoy this knife, is if there was one knife they can only take one knife out in the woods, they take this one because it does so much well. And it's got a little choke up here. You can actually choke up, and it's got the finger grip or thumb grip right here. So you can do finer detail, or you can pull back and, you know, chop with this thing. And almost, I mean, it's borderline machete, but overall it performs really well. I'm gonna actually baton some wood real quick, and we'll show what it's all about. And it's 1095 carbon, so it's really strong from my understanding, and they last a long time. As far as chopping, it can chop wood just not as good as an axe, but this is where the category of, you know, be able to do a lot of things with just a knife. It's got enough weight on it where you're actually just, you know, you can chew through, and you could actually chop something very like this real easy. I'm not even hitting it that hard, but I just want to demonstrate. And as far as chopping, kind of set it in here, and look how easy it batons this. And this is like my first time batoning wood. Just like that. This knife may not be for everybody, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the weight of it. It's very balanced, and I've, you know, from what I've seen so far, and I'm going to continue to use it and practice with it and do all kinds. I'm actually going to prep some bark for some birch bark for fire tinder in just a moment. We'll go over another baton. So as you can see, it performs very well as far as batoning and chopping, and it has a really nice fine edge on it. You know, I was making some steaks earlier with the for my Temp Shelter. It worked out really well. One more time just to demonstrate the batoning. Real easy. I mean, this knife makes it foolproof. I mean, it's really, really nice. Now we're going to process some of this birch bark for some fire tinder. And this is where the SE6 is a little big, but it has the option to choke it up with this thumb grip right on the back, and the spot to put your finger up here. So you can do finer detail work with the knife with that handle, or again, like I said, you can just go full. So this thing overall would be great for tactical, survival, and that's why, like I said, it's a lot of go-to knives for a lot of outdoorsmen. So as far as processing the birch bark, you're going to want to peel it and start scraping, gently scraping this until we get a fine dust. So you're going to want to gently go against the grain and create like a little dust, little shavings. And this knife is so sharp, it's easily doing it. So if you kind of look at it up close, you're getting a lot of like almost sawdust remnants that would definitely catch spark with a ferricium rod. So we'll keep processing this, and we'll get it ready for a fire. The SE6 knife does come with a hard plastic sheath. It's injection molded, and it has the thumb basically release right here, where you push down with your thumb and release the knife. Works out really good, snaps in really good, holds. Like I said, I did modify my case, but I did want to show off. It comes with this clip assembly, which you bolt to the sheath, and that works really good. And you can move it around if you want, but not a good options. It actually has a nice pommel in the back. You can bust open, you know, walnuts or, you know, certain things you like break up rocks. It's very strong and durable from what I've seen. So another, like I said, very versatile knife, and very excited to continue use and trying this out, trying new things with it. So we get on to our next item. We got the Therm-a-rest Pad set up. We looked at the SE6 some, but next one to check out is a Paracord bracelet. So this is from Atomic Bear. It actually comes with two. You get two of them, and they're adjustable, which I really like. So the Paracord bracelet has a ferricium rod right here, ferro rod. It has a compass, a whistle. Try it out. Whistle works. Has the adjustable portion right here, and then there's the striker. So you can actually take the striker out. It is kind of small. We're going to try and see if we can get a fire going with this as a true test. Now, one thing I do like about the Paracord bracelet, it's just more tools for utilization, and again, I consider it a low impact redundancy, right? So you can wear this on your wrist. You're not adding weight to your pack necessarily. You may be adding weight to your overall, but I mean, this thing's so light. I like the adjustable feature right there. I can cinch it tight, and I can't even tell, but I got a compass, I got the whistle, the fire striker, and the ferro rod right built in, and 550 paracord. The problem with the paracord is you actually have to cut it. You're basically cutting it to get it. But if you need it, you got to do what you got to do. All right, so we're going to try and throw some spark on this birch. All right, so it is pretty difficult to use because of this little striker, but it can work. All right, so we got our fire going. We keep that rocking and rolling all night. Got my makeshift temp shelter made. Like I said, I want to do a bigger one. Got it covered because I've modified it with 550 fire cord, some zip ties, and I actually have a lot of stuff on this, like a mini EDC kit. Got another video coming out, so if you want to check that out, just hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to see that, as well as I'm using a solar powered battery backup tonight. So I want to see how that works out. It's 28,000, but I'll do a review on that later as well. But we're going to go ahead and kind of set up. I got my sleeping bag, and we'll get ready to have a good night's rest. Then I can discuss the performance of the Therm-a-rest Pad in the morning. So it's about 6 a.m. Getting ready to do final thoughts, but I wanted to pan the camp. Just kind of, camp worked out really well. The fire kept me warm, but it did go out. And then I got Perseus and Hercules coming over there, the new rations. So I'm excited to talk about those. Let's go ahead and get back to final thoughts on the 3 items I reviewed. So final thoughts on the items I reviewed today. My first solo overnight. So the Atomic Bear Paracord bracelet. It's got a fire striker, worked good. It is harder to use, but if you need to start a fire, you could. The compass works fine, the whistle works fine, and the paracord, only downfall is you got to cut the bracelet apart. So you will lose the bracelet if you need it, but if you need it, you're not going to need a bracelet. So next item is the Therm-a-rest Pad. Therm-a-rest Pad worked fine. I was able to sleep comfortably on the ground. Works as intended. I had nice thermal barrier between the ground and myself, especially when it dipped off pretty cold, about 57, about midnight. But I'll definitely be taking the Therm-a-rest Pad with me on any camping, hiking, anything where I'm going to be doing overnights, because it's definitely awesome. And then my favorite item, this is probably my favorite, most of my survival Saturdays, is this SE6 knife. This thing is fantastic, very versatile. There's not much you can't do with this thing out here, and that's why I think it's a favorite amongst many. Very excited to see this knife and put it into action and in continued use. But it batons wood, no problem. Cuts down limbs, no problem. I'm excited to see what else it can do. There's a ton of versatility, and I love versatility. So other than that, it's breakfast time. It's about 6:30 a.m. and it's time for a little Perseus time. So stay tuned. So that's all I got now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.